Hey guys, VO1IDX here. Just want to take a minute to show you my portable 20 meter vertical. I got the idea from OH8STN. Was watching some of his QRP work, and he carries around this Chameleon MPass antenna. And it does multiband, but let's face it, it's a compromised antenna, and as good as compromised antennas are, a multiband antenna is going to be probably even much more compromised. So I decided to make my own 20 meter portable vertical out of a aluminum tent pole, and I wanted something that was really going to stand up in the wind, because here in Newfoundland it's windy all the time, or 90% of the time. So I thought that one of these collapsible tent poles that's made for a dome tent should do the job, because it bends in pretty much a half circle. After purchasing the tent pole and receiving it, I put it out straight and measured it the full length. It was just under 20 feet. So we need 16 and a half feet roughly for a quarter wave vertical. So what I did was I actually took a couple of the legs. I took this all apart, took 3 pieces completely off. One would be for the base module that I'll make for the antenna, and the other 2 I just don't need them, so they may be part of a future antenna project. After taking it apart, I got real lucky. I knew that I was going to need the SO239 to be my connector for my cable, and it just so happened that this thing has a little groove around it, and luckily enough, the pole fits right onto it and gives enough isolation to separate the radiating element from the ground side. The problem still lies, or lied. The problem was that the hollow tube and the center pin on the SO239 were having I was having a problem finding a way of getting it to be removable from the shaft, as well as still touch the sides of the inner tube in order to give us the proper electron flow that we needed. And we would need to be able to access the 4 pins on the side, the 4 screw holes, I guess you call them, for mounting counterpoise and possibly the SO239 itself to the bottom of the antenna once it was constructed. So I did this. From the side, you see these are counterpoise wires right here, right there and there. I put 4 or 5 actually, because I got this one here with a ring connector, which is actually going to ground to my quad, my ATV, which is part of my mobile station as well, I guess, because it takes me to where I need to be in order to try to transmit. The center pin, I just made a coil of I think it's number 16 wire, number 14 wire maybe, and it's strong enough that it can screw right up into the inner tube, and at all of these high points it actually touches the inner side and gives us the conductivity that we need as well. So now the next thing is just mounting this thing. So in comes our PVC tube, and on the bottom we have a strain relief fitting. Simply drilled a hole through the top of this thing and put the strain relief to the bottom and fed the tube all the way through. And now you can see that we've got just a little bit above the rubber grommet inside, but it's still away from the exterior parts. Okay, so it's all put together just by simply pushing this on, and if I screw it down, I need both hands to screw it down, because I made it tight to fit, so I wouldn't have an issue with it maybe bouncing away from the sides of the tent pole inside and whatnot. Stand by, and I'm going to put this in. Okay, so there you get the idea. That'll be the bottom side of it. And I'm actually going to put some Gorilla Glue, super glue in around here, just to hold it tight to the bottom, and we should be good to go. So there we go, it's super glued into place, it's not going anywhere, and basically how this works now is we take the rest of the tent poles, put them together, and then we just put the tent pole in, you know, we construct it into one big long piece of radiating element, and it just slots right down inside this tube. And we have a 16, it's actually a little over 17 feet. I made it long just in case I got to cut it down. But there's our antenna. It took us maybe less than an hour to build, and I've already tested it. I've already used it on a Whisper beacon. I've already used it to make a SSB QSO, but we only had a two element radio system at the time, so now we're going to 4 and a ground to the bike, and we're going to put this to test and see how well it works out, and hopefully we get favorable results on 20 meter QRP. Thanks guys, I hope you enjoyed the video.